But I wanted to come back to Lybia because, yes, we do need to talk about what they're dropping. And I'm sure they're using other chemicals, and it must end. And we must talk about bringing our president up for war crimes.
That's a huge statement.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This man opened up his campaign by extending the war in Afghanistan. He has not at any point backed off of it. If we want Bush tried for war crimes, we must try Obama for war crimes.
20 seconds.
Wow.
Yes, and support Dennis Kucinich's push for that.
Yes.
I was able to put into Dennis Kucinich's hands some evidence of free energy of a patent that came from his hometown in 18-something. So we have known about alternative sources of energy for a long time, but what we need to do is have a population that wakes up about it. So thank you very much for joining me on this show, and Colia. It's
always good being in this rabbit hole with you. We get all kind of controversy down here in this rabbit hole.
Right. Okay.
Great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Paula Gloria thanking you for joining us. Over and out. Bye.
Yes.
Okay.
Great show. Thank you, Colia. I like the way you snuck in that Bahama Mama. Anyways, so controversial.
I know. She's hot.
Oh, no, we have to
Red
stop
hot
it.
mama.
No, it's time, darling.
I know, and you can party with the hardiest of them.
Yes, so a couple weeks last night, and we got to talk about it. Last night I had this call from a radio program in Tennessee.
Really?
And they were discussing all of these lynchings in the South.
What in the South?
Lynchings everywhere.
What are lynchings?
The killings of people, just like they had
Lynchings?
the lynchings.
Lynching.
Actually, physical lynchings.
Ooh.
And they're calling them all suicides.
Oh, no.
He even lynched a Chinese sister in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
I want to sit right here so I can be on film just for 2 seconds. Because I can take a still shot of me and Colia, later. You know how, oh gosh, my balls are showing. Look, there we are.
Good though, girl.
Put this on. Talk a little.
No, I don't want to. Okay.
Here, have a discussion.
And tell her what you said.
We're on the
Tell her,
DVD.
Susie. Susie, tell her about your comment about impeachment.
Well, I think that Obama is doing a fine job. No one can do that job.
Yeah, he's done a fine job of killing the people of North Africa, aiding in the killing of the people of West Asia, Bahrain, Yemen. He's doing a real good job at killing the people of Afghanistan.
Do you think maybe he's given the money to the wrong people?
Yeah, no doubt that he's giving the money to the wrong people. The question is, what was he doing with the money in the first place? The money should be here in the United States of America.
Five. Slap it like it's hot.
Yes.
They missed our high five.
Yes, the money needs to be
Let's
here.
get the money here.
We're talking about closing schools in New York.
That's right. Let's straighten out our own damn mess.
Thank you.
And then, and you know what? I think that other countries are playing us. They're getting us to jump on board and they're almost tricking us to get us to do their bidding or their causes. And it's almost like we're a dumb chicken head. We're a little baby seal getting clubbed on the head. They got us, what Lybia or whatever got us in that Iraq war, and they wanted our boy because Saddam Hussein was our boy. I think because we had him on the payroll, so Pineapple Face was our boy too.
Yes.
We end up, the bottom line is we've been pulling those people's strings for years. We could have made them jump through a couple hoops. Maybe I don't know. We shouldn't be giving them money anyway.
No, it doesn't make sense for giving them money. The problem is that our businesses are taking their money. You see, our army really goes around the world defending our businesses.
Hey, you know what? The reason we had the baby boom from 1946 to 1964, we had a boom. We were having babies like crazy, 10,000 babies a day because we were making money. We were expanding, houses were getting bigger, and is because we had all the industry in the United States because we bombed France's factories and we bombed Germany's factories. High five, baby. You know what? If you really want to get, but this the Iraq war with killing Saddam Hussein and letting, what's that vice president's name? the evil, Dick Cheney. We let his company go in there and make all the money. Well, what happened to making the United States money? You know? Like we did bombing France and Germany's factories.
Yeah, well, this is what happens. They say we go in and our companies go in and they spot the resource that they want.
That's right, but this
now
time
in Egypt, in this case, Egypt didn't have a resource, so small businesses were heavily invested in Egypt. We had an army made up of young people who lived on those garbage dumps. If you looked at film from Egypt in the 1980s, one of the things you'd be struck by some of the documentaries is that they had all these children on these garbage dumps.
And cats and women in 90s.
Yeah, all in these garbage dumps. Now they're in the military now.
Right.
See, this is the generation that's in that military, trained by the United States, sponsored by the United States to the tune of $1.5 billion a year. So when you begin to look at Egypt's army, then you look around at Algeria, you look at Tunisia, where America had some investment, and you look at Libya. They're all very different. Libya had self-contained. Algeria runs its own army, though it also has been under the pressure of the IMF and the World Bank and forced to privatize all of its oil industry. So Algeria's got oil, Libya's got oil. What's Egypt got? She got history.
Yeah, they do.
Got pyramids. But when you began to look at what's happening with America and business in the world, I don't care where you go in the world, you'll note that we trail in businesses. And this military-industrial complex that builds all kind of war machinery, including all of these missiles and whatever you call them, that we're dropping stuff on from the sky by looking at satellites and then bombing people off the face of the earth.
Give us a two-shot. I want to do a high five on the industrial military complex. We got to find some love. Where's the love?
I don't know, but they're going to find some love because my kids coming out of the jails in New York.
That's right. We got to have, instead of paying $25,000, $35,000, $40,000 for jailers, they should be teachers, and we're going to sentence them to a 2-year associate degree, and if they're really bad, they better come out a doctor.
Amen. That would be a good thing, yes.
You know, give them a 6-year degree, and if they can't hit their mark, well, you know, they're going to have to stay in there a little longer. I mean, doctors, it takes 8 years. Can you imagine? Because what happens is everybody that they send to jail, pretty much everybody gets back out, and they're not better off, they're worse off.
They're far worse off than they were when they went in. But most of the people that are going to jail in New York went for the Rockefeller drug laws. They had no business in jail anyway.
And that's right. The Rockefeller drug laws were, you know, they have to, I don't know, I heard something about that's how they got, you know, they're always picking on the weak and the young, right? Mm-hmm. So the Rockefeller drug laws was for what? Marijuana?
The weak and the young. Marijuana, yes.
Okay, and you know,
any drug for that matter.
Yeah, because it's a way to get the industrial military complex or the money salivating machine moving. They got to pick on an agenda and get it driven. I don't know.
Well, you know, with the Rockefeller drug laws, you got to understand, industry died upstate New York. There were no industries. The old car manufacturing pieces, auto pieces, General Electric, all of them, and also the computer companies were just dropping out.
I mean, don't talk bad about my Jack Welch. But I heard they're not doing so well.
Industry was dying, and so what happens upstate New York is the prisons become the new industry.
That is so sick. You know what?
That's right, because that's slavery.
You know,
and we don't want to deal with slavery in America, but that's slavery.
And the slave wages.
That's right, no wages.
You know what
that's slavery.
I wonder what the girls at the grocery store said, you know, it almost feels like I'm a slave. She's working behind the deli at D'Agostino's, and I said, there's a name for that. It's called slave wage.
That's right, that's right.
So, you know what, I'm starting to think, back in the day, we had slaves. I'm starting to think that they had a better life than maybe I have. I got to hustle the rent, the electric bill, the food. Maybe it'd be better if I had a family and I was living on a plantation.
Well, the problem with the family living on a plantation, working 24 hours a day, sun up to sundown.
Well, I can barely get up to clean my apartment.
That's right, sun up to sundown, with your behind being whipped, rows of whips across your back. No concept of freedom. At all.
And you could always talk, you know, I guess, amongst each other and then get more powerful and.
No, we did that. We did.
And then come back at
great signifying systems.
What
great
about
signifying
Frederick
systems.
Douglass
well, that
and his background?
Well,
Frederick Douglass was a former slave who emerged, got educated. His mistress, actually the white woman where he was, helped to educate him in terms of teaching him to read and write. And he got out on his own and got himself free and became one of the strongest orators of our time.
Ran for president.
And Frederick Douglass should have been president. It would have been a lot better than what we had. But
There's a book called A Cult America, and in it they talk about his ability to fight this very cruel slave master because of the root culture. Do you know anything about that, Colia?
yeah, I don't know about Fred and the root culture, but I know about the root culture and others. Yes, I do.
What did you say about that?
I don't know about Fred and the root culture. I want to talk about Frederick Douglass' root culture, but I can talk about my grandma and the root culture.
let's talk about Grandma.
Well, you know, the whole thing is that the ability to not only take care of yourself, your body physically, with African herbs and other kinds of herbs, including Paula's hemp, but also deep spiritual thinking.
Good, I'm glad we changed the
Deep
subject to this. It's
spiritual
so much more
thinking.
better.
To be able to control a situation with deep spiritual thinking. Some people say you can take a little flour, a little corn, a little salt, and work miracles with it.
Okay. You know,
If you place it in the right place.
I just recently started sampling, pot. I always hated it, but I realized that it would, at night before I go to bed, I hate smoking, whatever. So I did it, and I actually, because I was popping Ambien and all this crap, and I actually was thinking, it's trying to get me to think my way out of this situation instead of, whatever I was disliking or whatever I wanted to change in my life, and untie the knot so I could move forward. Instead of me just wanting to pop an Ambien and waking up the next day, and I'm never in the same state of mind, never got any better, never got any extra thinking in.
Well, I have discovered, I don't use no part of nobody else, I have discovered that mind control is within. That within each of us is the ability to have a ride on clouds and go to heaven, if you want to do that, without taking anything.
That's like
Other
they
than thought.
said on
This is what
Dancing,
Frederick Douglass practiced.
Dancing with the Stars said, elegance is a state of mind.
That's right. This was what Frederick Douglass and Africans have, and so do most indigenous populations. Long experiences of being able to do mind control. We had High John the Conqueror in the Deep South. And there's a wonderful story about High John the Conqueror. High John the Conqueror was being beat by the master and watching other people beat by the master, so he promised the master that he was going to punish him.
Okay.
And so High John began to use his High John stuff, so they killed High John. And storms hit New Orleans and tore up the area between Mississippi and New Orleans for days.
What year
High
was
John.
that? Do you know?
Had to be the 1840s, 1850s.
Okay,
So,
also
what you're
Muhammad
looking at-
Ali, when he was fighting in Africa against George Foreman, he had, what is those hexes or those kind of people that Muhammad Ali suck him on George Foreman?
He had some oracles with him, yes he did.
What is it called? What is that word? He had all the audience on his side, and it just and screaming out.
We call it voodoo, hoodoo, whatever you want to call it.
There's
But,
another word, but it's
but anyway, he had oracles with him of various sorts and priests. The thing is that the human mind is a mind control machine.
Hey,
it
Gloria,
has
ma'am,
power.
can you come here?
But we don't want to deal with the power of the human mind. The human mind is a very powerful thing.
All right.
You know, when I go to sleep at night and I get worried, I get dreams. Just like everybody else, you get dreams, right?
That's right. Never go to bed. We got to go to bed positive thinking, else it'll permeate the wrong way.
That's right. But my dreams
Okay,
come.
we have to wrap.
Okay.
Well, this has been fun. I've
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you. I mean, I'm so intimidated, honey bunny.
No. I've enjoyed it.
You're
Thank
an
you. Thank you.
icon.
Oh, come on, get up out of here.
Give me a hug, girl.
Okay, good.
Then I'm gonna
I gotta get up and go late first.
Me too. I gotta get the bones to settle. Let me go. I want to recondition the DVD.
All right, darling. I'm gonna set this mic from off my scarf.
That was very deep stuff you were talking about. I was in production, so I couldn't hear it all.
No, we haven't even gone to deal with the mic.